Woo! All right. So, episode one was about me picking up the camera. Episode two is going to be the moments that I realized, oh wow, this clothing journey it's not a joke. It's not a joke in any form. The role Stephen Bartlett and Nico Milano played was, they are ready to do anything. I mean, in a positive light, not something bad. Taking risk to do content, taking risk with business decisions. Mainly that would be for Stephen, right? And interviewing just great lads and questioning them. Their mind is just so open, and I'm just great. When you see young people like that doing great stuffs like that, I'm just motivated. And I would say my big source of joy and hope with this brand is God. I feel God inspired me because I went through, some really tough moments last year. Then at some point I was just open to God, like, God, please lead me. Or even though God, many times we are led by God, but yet we're still not able to execute stuff, until maybe we see things that will spur us into action. And that is the case with Nico and some of those YouTube guys that I watch that really inspired me. And I felt, okay, why not? Just do it. You're not going to die. Worst thing, people make jest of me. They'll make jest of my background and so many other things. But really, at this point, I don't care. I have teenagers that make jest of me every day. Oh, God. So if those guys, they make jest of me, regardless of how I look or what I say, I'm used to that. So, and I don't care with them because I just relate with them. I just want them to be comfortable, that they can make jest of this black uncle, yet, we can still talk. Yeah. So let's get down to today's business. So today's business is, sincerely, I want to make my videos short. Just document this journey. Still figuring out ways to edit perfectly. And oh my God, there's just so many resources on YouTube. But those guys are too complex, man. So I really need to find the simple ones so that I can edit my video, smoothly. So the very sample I ordered looked nothing like what I had in mind, like nothing. I opened the package and I just froze. Like, what is this? The moment when your chest just gets so tight after spending that, amount of money, but importantly also the time, because it's so time consuming, And the reason why I said it's so time consuming is the people I'm talking to, the other end of the line, it's communication with English, or communicating with English is kind of a barrier. So after going back and forth, changing stuff, then you open up the package and it's not what you ordered. Bruh, that was something else. The sizing was off, printing was off, everything about that cloth was off. I wish I could just post it, and just show it to everyone. But it's that terrible that I'm so scared of sharing it, right? It's that terrible. For me, that was the day I knew this journey is gonna be long. I don't know any other positive word to use than to say, oh, okay, this journey is gonna be eventful, And I just had hope, just positive hope, knowing that it's going to work well eventually. Because the thing in my head is I have an idea, I share with the manufacturer. The manufacturer just sent me perfect clothing that I wanted. And I think that's going to be it. No, that's not it. That is not it. So that was my first real challenge, right? But I was positive because I know everything will work out, for good. As Bible says, all things work together for good to them that love God and are called according to his purpose. I know I love God. I know God will eventually turn this around, for me. Another thing also in the experience of getting samples is also I wasn't ready to settle for anything. So let me shock you. I got over, I think in my last video I did mention that. I don't know if I have over 25 samples. And that's how intentional we had the remnants. And not just boasting, like sincerely, I had over 25 samples. Getting from different countries, from China to Vietnam to Singapore to Bangladesh, even Europe. Yep. Like I was that intentional that I want a very good brand, before I chose and decided to settle for one person. or two people rather, two manufacturers. So I'm that deliberate because I want the best quality. Also, before because it's quite long. Understanding clothing too, understanding fabric too is another work. So there's a story with this as well. I had to go to Walmart. I'm telling you. So every time I go to a clothing store, like this phase since June, anytime I go into a clothing store, do you know where I go to straight? I go to the fabric composition of each clothing to see the materials, the fabric composition of it all. So I'm just so happy because before now, when I go to a store to buy a clothes, I'm just picking up something that looks good on me, that is nice, or that my wife likes, or my kids they love. That's it. Simple as easy. But now, when I'm buying clothes, I'm looking at the composition of the fabric, and that's what this entire process has taught me. Getting back to the bad sample, that moment changed everything for me. And from that moment, I believe, okay, if we have to do something real well, then I need to put in more work to ensure that these guys get what I'm saying. Could it be a communication gap from me, or they're not hearing me better? What exactly is the problem? So from that day onward, I was like intentional that I must retrade whatever. I'm telling these guys I must be loud and clear so that they can understand what I'm saying. Even to the extent that I started translating with Google. I was using Google Translate so that I can, after I type a text to them in English, then I take that same text and put it in their own local language and switch it to it and send it to them so that they know that this is exactly what I wanted. So yeah, this is episode 2. The sample almost ended everything. I would say my experience with each sample when I see them, it kind of elevate me, feel with joy. The joy of the ideation of something in my head, then bringing it to life. That is just so powerful. And but it was that beautiful. Let me put it that way. But sincerely, it was that nice. It was that nice. When I received some of the samples were terrible, were bad, but some were good and it was encouraging. So with those samples, it kept getting better. It kept getting better. Now I have a clear understanding of what to say, the size, the dimensions, the mock-ups, the tech packs, and so many other things like that. So, yeah, this is what episode 2 is all about. I hope everyone will stick around, as we unfold the story. Watch out. See you soon. Peace out.